I always cry before I fight.
You did? Always cry before you
Yeah.
fight? What were you crying about?
I don't know. That's just who I am.
What's the emotion? Are you?
I'm getting ready to change into somebody I don't like.
Mike Tyson. You are the greatest fighter that ever lived. And you didn't like that guy.
No, because he brought more than just fighting with him.
What do you mean?
He brought like jealousy, enviness, guilt. He brought a lot of stuff. But everything that was bad was that guy. I was addicted to chaos. I had no self-love and I showed it.
I want your heart. I want to eat your children.
Everything I did wrong gave me riches and wealth, everything that everybody else wanted. But I just wanted to be like everybody else. Sometimes we don't understand, like, what is this thing? What is my purpose? Why am I here? Why do I have to go through this pain? Why do I have to go through this fear all the time? Why can't it just be peaceful all the time? Then it wouldn't be life. You know, it wouldn't be life. We have to take life at its term, life on life terms, not on our terms. You say you love life, you want to live life, I'm going to show you life. Life is beautiful, but you have to accept the good and the bad as being beautiful. You can't accept the good, oh, this is beautiful. Then we lose somebody, our life sucks. Life is beautiful because life gives us the ability to just know them on our journey in life. We met them. We loved them, we cared about them, they cared about us. That's the purpose of life, just to enjoy what we had while we journeyed through it. As soon as God starts noticing you, so does the devil. So that means you're gonna shine and you're gonna fall too. That's what this life's all about, rising and falling, rising and falling. But what happens when you fall from a rise? And that shows who you are. And we're all here for a reason. We don't know the reason, but we're here for that reason. Maybe we're supposed to decipher that, but we're all here for a reason. This is not by accident. You really ask yourself, why am I here? Who am I? Where have you come from? Why are you here? What is your purpose?
Why do you think you're here?
Why do I think I'm here? To understand the world before I die. To be lucky to understand it and be conscious of it before I die. I look at everything. I look at women, I look at people. Everything is, they were teachers. Those guys were our teachers. And that's what this big world is, a school. It's where we live in one big school. All of our encounters are classes. Imagine how many classes we endured in life. You know, it's all about peace and love when it comes down to the situation. It all comes to peace and love. My whole life I was taught it was about ferocity, viciousness, fear, inflicting stuff. And all my life I found that that was a lie. And I found that it was all about being humble and, you know, subservient and giving to people and loving people and forgiving people for mistakes and shit. And coming to grips with that is just overwhelming, you know. Sometimes I cry a lot because I've been living a life that was wrong all these years. I felt all the pain I ever caused somebody. All the pain I ever caused people in my journey in this world. I had felt the pain. I couldn't apologize enough. You know, sometimes it's hard to say to yourself, you know, I don't like myself. But I don't know how to change. We don't want to look and face who we are. We live a life trying to hide who we are, have our secrets, instead of trying to live open. That's the reason that we have mates and get married, because we can't live with ourselves, not by ourselves, but with ourselves. People say we can't live alone. No, we can't live with ourselves. Most of us never experienced just being with ourselves and our thoughts and our past. Sometimes your childhood can make you the person that you are. It can make you a success. It can make you a failure. Depends on how you plan to use it. It's just what we do here and what we leave behind our journey is really what counts. But just leaving here, knowing that you were kind to people, and people could say he was a kind person, he was a good person, and you gave him the best you had. You gave life the best you had. You just left it all on the concrete, you know. You don't hold anything back, you know. Life is just preparing you for death. That's what life is. It's pretty much a blueprint to death. Just treat the world like you want the world to treat you. And give the world everything you have. Give it everything you got. I'm aware that a lot of people next to me and watch me and may look up to me and think I'm a certain kind of guy, I'm a good guy, but they have to understand that I'm not worthy of praise. Only God is worthy of praise. You look at YouTube and I see guys have Mike Tyson Immortal, Mike Tyson God, and I'm not worthy of that. I'm always just Mike.
It's been said that the greatest disease affecting humanity is that feeling of I am not enough. The feeling of I am not enough can only exist by comparing yourself to another and living your life by expectations that aren't your own. Comparison is the thief of joy. If you want to use a great person to measure where you are in life and where you can be, sure, there's not a lot wrong with that. But don't be attached to the result. The only result you should be attached to is the result of you being better than you were yesterday, last week, last month, 1 year ago. Set your own goals based on what you want to achieve, not what the next door neighbor has, or the need to outdo a friend or a family member. Everyone is different and everyone can win. You will never win if you have your eyes on another person. You win your race by focusing on your own finish line. You win in life by being happy for others winning their race. And you giving your heart and soul to win your own race. It's you versus you. The battle is won or lost in your own mind. Comparing yourself to another is an insult to who you are. It's an insult to who you're going to be. You are better than that. You are unique. And that will always be your greatest power. That will always be what separates you from the rest. So be you. Focus on you. Focus on growing you, developing you, mastering your strengths, winning your own race. If others win their race, great. We are all here to win. And the moment you support others, support will come back to you. Don't go out to prove them wrong. Get out there and prove yourself right.
I want to explain the biggest myth that most people think leads them to success. And here's the myth. You might believe if you're scared to fail, you won't fail. Lies. Biggest myth ever. And I believed it. You see, I always thought that being scared to fail in life would literally keep me from failing. I would look at the losers around me and I would say, sheesh, I never want to turn out like him. I really believed this train of thought would help me succeed. Until one day, I was walking down the street and I saw an old man. Had a hat, suspenders, and a cane. He was about 80 years old. This old man was barely walking. He could walk, but the cane helped a lot. He was struggling. So anyway, he was walking across the street and he ended up falling. So I went over to go help him. And he gets up, says thank you, and we introduced ourselves. Had a little conversation. Told me his name and I told him mine. His name was Robert, by the way. And right as he walked away, I told him, this is what I said. Robert, you should stay inside where it's safe, my friend. And Robert turns around and says to me, I love walking, and I love walking way more than I'm afraid of falling. So I asked him, well, what about your safety? Don't you want to live? And he told me this. These are the exact words he said. He said this: Solo, living means doing what you love to do. And if I had to fall here and there to do what I want to do in life, then so be it. And he just walked away. Never saw him again. That was it. But that statement really had me thinking, and it had me thinking hard, because I learned something that day. That's when I realized the true key to success. You see, I always thought if I could just fear the act of failing, and if I fear it like crazy, I will succeed. Because I thought the fear would magically motivate me to get out there and start taking action. But after that day, I realized something. I realized it's the love for success that will lead me to succeeding. So just imagine if Robert feared falling. Would he even start walking? Of course not. He wouldn't even do what he loved to do. He would sit at home and take no type of action. But he loved walking. Wasn't even scared to fall. It gave him life. That's what allowed him to get up and do it. He loved walking so much, he was willing to fall 10 times a day just to do it. And you have to be the same. So the next time someone tells you, you're gonna fail, you know what you tell them? Tell them they're right. But you're not afraid of fail. You're not afraid to take action. You're not afraid to jump. You're gonna fail 10 times, but you know what? It's cool. Because on the 11th time, you'll succeed. Oh, you'll succeed, all right. And it'll feel good. And while you're over here living the life of your dreams and complete happiness, guess where they're gonna be? That's right. They'll be failures, the real failures. Over there where it's safe, scared to fail. Ironic, isn't it?
A lot of people talk a good game, don't they? They say they're going to do this and that. But when push comes to shove, they disappear. When it's game time, they're nowhere to be seen. They say they're going to be the greatest ever, but their work ethic shows average effort. They say they're going to be rich or famous, but their habits are poor and ordinary. Talking is not enough. You must do. Talking is not enough. You must put in the work. You must develop the habit of following through with your word. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. It's called integrity. When you honor your word, you build pride for yourself and respect from others. When you don't, when you talk the talk and never walk, you lose pride and you lose respect. Repeat to yourself every day. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. If I give my word, I do it. If I talk it, I will walk it. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. If I give my word, I do it. If I talk it, I will walk it. When it gets hard, I gave my word. If something comes up, I gave my word. I will get it done. I don't even have to think twice. I get it done. I will get it done. Talkers talk. Walkers walk. Don't tell them what you're going to do. Show them what you've done. Let your results speak for you. Results say more than words ever will. Keep your word. Do the work. Get the results. Game time. This is my word. I've said it. Now I will do it.
there's this quote from one of my friends, Alex Hormozy, that says, "You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt."
Nailed.
Completely nailed.
Yes. Some of these motivational people out here, the funniest thing in the world to me, they'll go and say, when you wake up in the morning, you pound your chest, look at yourself in the mirror and do all this bullshit. I hope it works. What works for me is that everyday resume. The things I know I've accomplished, the things I know I've done, real hard work, the real calluses on my mind, the real calluses on my hands. You don't need to pound your chest in the mirror anymore if you have that.
People don't really care what you say. They are more concerned with what you do. We hear people say that actions speak louder than words. But those same people are saying it more than they are doing it. You want people to value who you are, then you have to be worth something. How do you become worth something? By doing what you say you're going to do. In other words, we're talking about action. Words don't do much. Actions do everything. Think about it. All of the famous people that have become success stories didn't get there by simply talking about being there. They did something about it. They worked their butts off to be where they are today. They got off the couch. They made something happen.
I get sick and tired of people telling me how bad they want it, yet their actions don't back up that statement.
Good intentions are the most overrated phrase in the world. Nothing happens until you've got good actions. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my gosh, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
Most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, rise and grind.
You don't have to say anything. You don't have to make any noise. You don't have to grunt. You don't have to groan. You don't have to scream. You don't have to yell. What you have to do is get the job done.
The masters make the hardest things in the world look easiest. And in the moments where you push yourself, those moments tend to lead to success. And if you're gonna make it happen, everything in the world has to become secondary. You've got to become obsessed to the point where people think you're crazy. You discipline yourself every day to do what is required. You sweat, you suffer, you endure, and at the end of it all, you win.
Make a 100% commitment to give the best effort you've ever given to outwork, out-improve, out-strategize, outlast like never before.
The only time you have is right now. And if you're not obsessed every single second of every single day with achieving your goals, you're never going to achieve them. It takes dedication, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes obsessive, compulsive, ridiculous amounts of effort. You better dedicate every second of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year for a lot of years in a row if you ever want to get these kind of goals. Don't be somebody who talks shit. Be somebody who does shit.